Hey guys, Keith Engel for TGI Sports Talk College Football Huddle right here on Northeast Streaming Sports. Hope you guys are seeing this pretty clearly. I am live from the Carnival Magic. What a great trip we're having. Weather's been perfect. We just had a little rainstorm now though. And actually plan on starting this show at 4 o'clock. We'll go as long as we have people. Maybe making comments. I got a few things I want to cover from last week. Again, I'll try to keep up with the comments. I know I won't have as many of you as I normally do at 7 o'clock. But 7 o'clock's just not going to work. It's dinner time. We get shows after. So I thought I'd do it now, and hopefully our stream is good. So hopefully you're getting this loud and clear, and also the video is loud and clear. I do. Hey, there's Carlos. See if I can get your comment up, Carlos. There we go. Carlos, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you here today. It's college back. You can make some comments, Carlos. I know remember we're on the college football huddle today, so let's not talk any Mac Jones or any of that stuff. We'll catch up on that Sunday. I'm finishing up right now, Carlos, just so you know. I'm having a little Rum Island. I'd asked for a Long Island AC. This is what I got. But not bad. So martinis we'll have, after the show, I'm going to go up shower and we'll have a little martini before dinner. And we'll do that. What we got here from Anthony Price. Here to notice about Miami maybe trading. I had not. We probably won't get into the NFL today, though, Anthony, because I want to focus on college football. But we'll certainly look into that. If they're talking about trading, I'm assuming you're talking about Deshaun Watson. We'll see. But we'll talk more about that on Sunday. Carlos needs a drink. I don't blame you, Carlos. I needed a few today, too, and I had them. So listen, you guys can make your comments as you go. I'm going to go through my stuff. I don't have 2 hours or an hour and a half I'm going to do today. We're only going to do maybe a half an hour or so, and then we're going to move on. So, again, guys, give me a thumbs up on the audio and the video portion. I'm really curious how my connection is as we're out in the middle of the Caribbean. I'm not on an island. I'm not anywhere today. I know Sunday was a little choppy when I did it, but I'm just curious. What we got here? Carlos is talking about UT's. Hold on, let me try to read it. Snaked with fees for Kiffin issues. Listen, I think Tennessee is going to have a little problem. Well, they don't play Mississippi this week. Did they play them last week? I'm not even sure. Let me look at last week's issues first, Carlos. We're going to jump ahead there, and we'll. I think the refs in Ole Miss get fines for being knuckleheads. I know you're not a Lane Kiffin fan. I think Lane Kiffin has done a great job at Ole Miss. You know his name's going to come up for the LSU job, which we're going to talk about in a second. Takeaways from last week, guys. Listen, Iowa, who I've been trumpeting for quite a while, goes and gets beat at home by Purdue. Amazing. Not just beat, but they get themselves stomped. So I'm not sure how that happens, but I've been trumpeting them. That happens when you don't have an offense that can score enough runs, or score enough runs, score enough points. I've been thinking about the MLB playoffs as well. So that was a surprise to me, obviously. LSU beating Florida, big surprise to me. Obviously, big news after that, and we'll certainly jump on that a little bit. Auburn stomping Arkansas for their third straight loss. I think that game against Ole Miss the week before took a lot out of Arkansas. That with the stomping by Georgia the week before probably didn't help either. Oklahoma rolls over TCU this week by 21. Again, I think they've got their quarterback. I don't know what took Lincoln Riley so long to realize that Caleb Williams was his best quarterback. Well, probably believe in the hype about Spencer Rattler, and Spencer Rattler is not nearly the quarterback, at least from appearances, as Caleb Williams. And we'll talk about this. You guys can comment on some of this. We'll jump on it. We'll talk about some of the stories surrounding these I was hoping for better than this, guys, but we'll stick it out as best we can. So we talked about the games from last week. I was just talking about how I think Georgia's definitely the real deal. As Anthony Price had said, great point there. I mean, they're playing great. I don't expect them to lose a game. If they do, it'll be to Alabama, and both of them are going to get in the playoff. It's a done deal. Some of the big news this week, though. Ed Orgeron out at LSU, fired for all intents and purposes, fired. But he'll coach the rest of the season, which is a little odd. Obviously, there's been something wrong at LSU since they won the championship. I read some articles this week about how Ed Orgeron had lost his way, and he wasn't paying attention to the football team. He was paying attention to all the celebrities surrounding him since his winning the championship, and since he I'll try to keep track of your comments here if you guys are still here. All the celebrity and the big contract, Ed Orgeron changed for all intents and purposes. That's what you're hearing. That's what you're reading. Filed for divorce from his wife about 6 months after the championship. Had, there was photos on the internet of him cavorting with women. And cannot conduct yourself that way as a Division I NCAA coach and expect anything good to happen. He lost track of himself, and he lost track of that football team, unfortunately. Other news, Rolovich, the coach at Washington State University. Mickey, if you're with us, sorry, he's out. Won't get vaccinated. Similar to many other states, the governor had stated any state employees would have to be vaccinated to keep their jobs, unless they could prove a religious or a medical exemption. He did apply for a religious exemption, which I don't know that he's really happy about having out there, and it was denied. This isn't about politics for me, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I'm not in any way for government overreach and such, but look, at your employer tells you got to get vaccinated. Well, guess what? You got to get vaccinated or find a new job. I mean, that's just the way it is. And it's unfortunate. This isn't a political thing, but it is what it is. A couple other notes. Dabo Swinney, already the rumors have started. Probably should have talked about this after we talked about the Orgeron, but the rumors are already starting about LSU coaches. Dabo Swinney's the first name that comes up. He said he's only worried about one Death Valley, and that's the one that he's in Clemson. So I'm not seeing more comments come up. Hey, Rick Sherlock, good to see you here, buddy. I just talked about your Georgia team, how I once again commented how they're definitely for real. Dabo Swinney's, I doubt Dabo Swinney's going to leave Clemson for LSU, to be honest with you. LSU's got unreasonable expectations. It's a great job, great facilities, great league. But, you're not going to, I think LSU thinks they ought to be contending for a championship every year. And they're not going to in the SEC. They're just not going to. Lane Kiffin's name's going to come up for this job. Urban Meyer's name's going to come up for this job. He's probably a pariah now, though. You can expect some other big names to come up for this job as well, because their athletic director likes to hit a home run. So that's what's going to happen here. It's going to be a long, probably, search for a coach here. I doubt one's going to get named before they finish out their season and finish out their bowl game, because, quite frankly, it's just going to be another distraction to the program. Some other news this week: the AAC has got 6 teams that have officially applied for admission to the league. Florida Atlantic, and they're all from Conference USA, I believe. Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, North Texas State, Texas San Antonio, UAB, and I can't read my writing on the other one, so maybe somebody can help me out. I'm missing a team here. Good grief. So we're taking notes on the deck while I'm drinking. And also, listen, the AAC, if these going to be great additions for the AAC, make them as strong as they are, but in losing Cincinnati, Houston, and UCF, no, but they're hurt. I mean, they're hurting. They tried to go the Mountain West route and work on Boise State and Air Force and San Diego State and some of those schools, and it didn't work out. So that's not good. So, hey, there's my dad. Say hi to Bob. Bob Engel. Comments are very slow coming up. Hopefully you guys are seeing and hearing me okay. Somebody talked about Eddie O. Carlos is talking about Ed Orgeron. He's going to get. Well, yeah, it's a good point, Carlos. Who else is going to come up? But yeah, Carlos talks about Eddie O's going to get sent packing with $17 million in hand, and that's a great point, Carlos. I mean, he's going to get paid the full amount. It isn't a lump sum, just so you guys know. I did see the payout schedule, and I don't know. He gets. I don't remember what it was. I mean, he gets like $2 million at the end of this year, and then every 6 months he gets $500,000, then $750,000. Look, don't feel sorry for Ed Orgeron. He had a funny arc at LSU. They didn't want him when he got hired. They hated the fact that they hired him, the fan base. Then he caught fire, had a dream season 2 years ago. Won a national championship, which nobody expected. He was the toast of the town, and now he's basically a pariah with everything that's gone on with him in his personal life and some of the things that are just, I don't really want to get into here, but plus a Title IX deal against the league, the fact that they covered up some allegations against one of their players who supposedly committed a couple of sexual assaults. Look, at bad stuff happened. I've been saying this for 2 years, that this was going to come home to roost. And unfortunately, it did. So bad news for Ed Orgeron, but I think, you know what? I don't think he knows if he wants to coach. If he wants to coach, he'll probably coach again. Not in a Power 5 conference, my guess is, but he'll coach somewhere. What's Rick got here? Let's see if we can get Rick's comment up. Mark Mancini was on the Braves last night. Mark's going to be on anybody who's playing any LA team. Doesn't matter whether it's the Dodgers, the Angels, USC, UCLA, the Lakers, the Clippers. It doesn't matter. He's going to be against any of them, and right now. You're right. Maybe it's a good time to make a quick bet on the Dodgers for sure. Dave Harris, welcome, Dave. Good to see you. Glad to see you're here, and I hope the feed's okay, guys. I know we've bounced in and out a few times, but that's going to happen. We're in the middle of the Caribbean. And I hope you've been following some of the posts I put up. We're having a blast. Great weather, great everything here. But I did want to come on and just spend, whatever, half an hour with you guys like I did Sunday for my stream of consciousness. Before we go in, take a shower, go have a martini, have dinner, do a couple shows. So we'll have some fun. I don't know whether any other stories you guys want to bring up, feel free to do that. I'm going to jump to a couple things. The coaches poll. So the coaches poll, I believe, stayed the same this week with Georgia, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, and Alabama. Maybe Alabama moved back into 4. I can't remember if they were there last week or not, but it doesn't matter. Alabama controls their own destiny. If Alabama wins out, that'll mean Georgia likely has one loss. They're both getting in. It really doesn't matter. And Dan, by the way, I am having a great time away. Feed sounds great. Feed and sounds are great. Good to hear. Thanks, Rick. You still got Ohio State at 5, Michigan. Listen, here's the teams that can win this. It can still get in my mind. Obviously, Georgia and Alabama, I think, control their own destiny. Oklahoma controls its own destiny, but I think Oklahoma State is very, very much alive. They're playing great defense, as I said before. Mike Gundy's an underrated coach, and they're really heading for a great season. So I think they could slide in there in the Big 12 and knock Oklahoma State out. Ohio State, I'm still not sold on their defense, and I think if these teams play each other, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan State, these teams play each other and beat each other up. Nobody's getting in from the Big 12 or the Big 10 rather. Iowa really killed themselves last week losing to Purdue at home. Horrible loss, not just for them, but for the Big 10 in general. Tell my wife, see what this says here. You want a picture of me in the slide? Listen, I haven't done a slide in a couple of years, but I have done the slide. Maybe Friday or next day at sea, maybe I'll do that. If you hadn't seen me earlier, Rum Island. Very nice. So anyway, again, I think that Iowa loss really, really hurts. Not just Iowa, but the Big Ten in general. Because unless Ohio State gets in there with one loss, I don't think a one-loss Big Ten team gets in. I really don't. They got to be undefeated. And I just don't think anybody's going to run the gauntlet there. Michigan's at number 6, but they're going to lose a game to somebody they play. Penn State's already got a loss. Maybe they could sneak in with one loss. I'm not sure. Maybe. Michigan State will not get in with one loss, I don't think. And so to me, you've got Georgia, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Oklahoma State, Michigan State, Oregon. And then you got Wake Forest sitting on the outside because they're the only ACC team with any shot of getting in. And they'd have to run the table. And if they ran the table, 13 or 14-0, whatever they'd be, I don't think they could get left out. No Power 5 conference team undefeated ever has been left out. Now, maybe this will be the first time, but we'll see about that. I'm not so sure they can leave them out. I'm also not sure they can win. Because, let's get to some of this week's games. I think Wake Forest is going to have trouble this week. I know, Rick, you're always all over the military academies, as am I. Army's got a great chance of upsetting Wake Forest this week. I'm rooting for Wake. Larry Sorensen, who's the color commentator there, is a good friend of the show. And I won't root against them, but this is a tough spot for Wake Forest. And I'll be sitting in an airport somewhere watching this game, probably Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. Who else is playing this week that's important? You got Wisconsin and Purdue. Purdue's now snuck into the top 25. Oregon with a tough game at UCLA. Oregon cannot afford any more losses if they want to stay alive in the playoff picture, and if the Pac-12 is going to stay alive and keep a team alive. They cannot afford a loss here for sure. LSU goes to Ole Miss. Ole Miss is playing some great football. I know Kenny Gifford thinks I'm just a Lane Kiffin junkie. No, Lane Kiffin's a good coach. Lane Kiffin gets a bad name because of jumping around from team to team, and he's a little goofy. Nobody that I know of in college football coaches offense the way Lane Kiffin can. Great coach on offense. He needs to put a defense on the field. But he's still playing for a New Year's Day bowl game. He's not playing for the playoff anymore. It's likely impossible that he can get there. But he's still got a really good team. And you look at Ed Orgeron wants to go out on a high note. And LSU's playing some better football right now. So we'll see what happens there. Clemson, they're trying to right the ship a little bit. They're playing a really good Pittsburgh team. And if there's a team in the ACC that could knock Wake out, and again, here's the thing. Wake loses a game, ACC's all done. No team in the playoff. Can't happen. So Clemson will be at Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh has got a really good team this year. One loss, but they're not the type of team that's going to get into the playoff or even into the playoff picture with one loss. Georgia, I'm not sure where your Georgia team is this week, Rick. I only jotted down a few games that really stuck out to me. One game that would normally be a huge, huge game and has been for years is USC at Notre Dame, and it's just not a big game anymore because of USC having driven that Ferrari of a program into the ditch. And it's just, gosh, it's really sad what's happened out there. And Notre Dame, they've got one loss. It's not a good Notre Dame team. They can't settle on a quarterback. Brian Kelly can't make up his mind what to do from week to week. And, they could finish with one win, but they're not going to get a sniff at the playoff. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're still sitting around 12 or 13. The teams that moved the most in the poll and had the most to gain this week, Oklahoma State, who I talked about, moved up 4 to number 8. And they've got themselves in playoff position right now. We got quite a few viewers. I'm going to have to think about changing the time of this live show. I don't know. You guys can comment on it if you like. Who else moved up this week? A&M moved up 4, but only to 17. Couple, those 2 losses to Arkansas and Texas back-to-back really killed them. NC State moves up 4 to 18. And Iowa's a big loser of the week, dropping 9 spots all the way to number 11. They were number 2 in the poll last week. Told you last week, Iowa had the worst offensive rating of any number 2 team in the playoff system era. Below even UMass, believe it or not. So not a big surprise, I guess. Thought the defense would carry them undefeated into the Big Ten championship game, and it did not happen, unfortunately. What else? What else you guys got? I covered the high spots. I mean, not as many big games this week. I mean, we're going to be heading into a lot of big games, especially in the Big Ten, even the SEC. Wake Forest, every game is big for them because they've got to keep winning. Rick is telling me Georgia's on a bye, and it makes sense. And we got Florida next. You know, Florida's so up and down. Where's that game played, Rick? It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. Florida's not going to have a chance against Georgia. The only team, gosh, you know, I know I wasn't sold on them early in it, but I think the only team that can beat them is Alabama. You know, and maybe I could have said the only team that was going to beat Alabama was Georgia, but Texas A&M changed that. These teams both control their own destiny, as I said earlier in the show, and I think you're going to see both Georgia and Alabama in games in Jacksonville. Don't think it's going to matter. Largest cocktail party in the country, I think they call it. The largest outdoor cocktail party in the country, I think. What's the moniker, Rick? Am I messing that up with my rum? Well, Facebook doesn't kick me off. I'm glad to get the feed fixed here, and I'm glad it sounds good. I don't know, you know, when I watched Sunday show, just to kind of get off topic a little bit, when I watched a little bit I did of Sunday show for half an hour, 34 minutes, whatever it was, my video quality rewatching it wasn't very good. So it could be different because I'm streaming it, you know, on the Wi-Fi on the ship. So I don't know. That could have affected it. I don't know. But Rick said it's been good. Rick said it was good Sunday. So I'm happy to see that. A lot of college football stuff going on. We'll be talking about more stuff on Sunday. I'll be back Sunday morning for a full 2 hours, 9 to 11, with our Sunday stream of consciousness. We'll talk about the NFL football, obviously. Catch up a little bit there and some stuff we haven't talked about. We'll catch up on more college stuff since we didn't have a long time to talk today. Obviously, MLB playoffs are going to be talked about. Hopefully, Mark Mancini is not wearing cement shoes and in some river outside of. I don't know if there are rivers outside of Los Angeles, but I hate to see him just disappear. I mean, it's possible. He has got the entire state. I mean, it's not the entire California, but the entire city of Los Angeles is looking for Mark Mancini, I think, right now. So, Mark, if you're seeing this, please stay safe. And maybe get yourself a security detail, as I asked you to do earlier. Hopefully, you're not hearing Gary, the cruise director, on the speaker that's right over my head here that I did not know was here when I sat down. But we'll be back to normal, as I said, come Sunday. How prepared I'll be. So you guys, please come with your comments, and we'll talk a lot of college football. We'll talk a lot of NFL. We'll talk a lot of Major League Baseball, all the stories that are on top of your mind. Kenny Gifford's not here today, Rick. I really wish he was, because Kenny, I know Kenny likes to push buttons, but Kenny's just, man, out of control, right, with his views on Aaron Boone, which I'm not going to talk about today, and his views on the Patriots. And we're going to get into all that on Sunday. You can hate on a team, but good grief, you got to have at least a little bit of facts to back up your thoughts. Also, guys, Friday, by the way, my show will be on. I'll have Kevin Kernan from Ball9.com, formerly from the New York Post, spent 25 years writing for the Post. Recent New York State Baseball Hall of Fame inductee. He'll be on the show. We're going to talk about the mess that the Yankees and the Mets are in, and I know that he was on the same page with me with Aaron Boone, so he'll be talking about that. We had a great reception to Rennie LaRue, who's the founder and executive director of the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame as well. So wonderful reception. I want to thank you guys for all that. So he hasn't changed much in 45 years. Kenny, I love Kenny to death, Rick. I really do. And I know that he likes to be a contrarian. You know, if I said the Patriots sucked, he'd probably tell me how good they were. You know, if I told him Notre Dame was the best thing, that even though he's a Notre Dame fan, that might be the one thing that he might not argue with me on. If I told him Notre Dame was great, right? I'm not sure. He's interesting. So anyway, we're off the beaten track a little bit. If you guys got more college football you want to chat about, punch it in here before we go. I'm excited. I didn't see a lot of college football this last weekend traveling. I did watch a little bit of the Iowa game, and that was disturbing. I did lost 2 of my 3 wagers. I had bet Utah against Mark Mancini's Arizona State team. I had bet Iowa, and I also bet, gosh, I can't remember what the other team I bet now was, but I can tell you they lost. And convincingly. I didn't lose any games this week by a little bit. I had my worst week of the year. And NFL was just a complete washout. So we're going to have a lot to talk about once we get back to full swing, once we get back from vacation, which, by the way, guys, I don't want to come back, just an FYI. I love you guys. I love our interaction and wish we had our full time together today. But, you know, this is the way you got to live. It's the place I get away from everything, but I didn't want to get away from you guys. That's why, you know, Rick's always chastising me, saying, go have fun and have a drink and have fun with my wife and stop arguing sports. I can't. I love sports, and I'm going to continue to do that. It's still fun. I can stay in touch on vacation and not sit here on my phone 24/7. So I like to get out there and have these little, quick chats with you guys. I may do something Friday with my stream of consciousness. I had one in the bag for last week. Not in the bag, I should say. I had a topic ready to talk about, and I really didn't have a chance to do it. I may wait and do it over the weekend. One of my favorite topics, not football related, Kyrie Irving related, and how I think the man needs some really, really get some serious help. And I mean that in all sincerity. I know I've been hard on him, but he needs to get some help. Anyway, what else college football ways, guys? I can certainly chat for a few more minutes. If you guys have got some topics you want to bring up, Rick or Carlos, if you're still here, Dan, if you're still here. Who else was here today? Anthony, you got something you want to bring up? You're right, by the way. I tried to get your comment up earlier when I crashed for a second, and you're right. Georgia is a true NCAA right now. Maybe it's changing these. Maybe changing the banners has been screwing me up. Let me leave that up there. Let me put my banner back up, then we'll leave that. So, Anthony, you're absolutely right, and thanks for showing up today. I appreciate that. Any of you guys that showed up today, I appreciate you coming in, supporting the show today, and all the time, all the times that you do it. Please do me a favor and like. If you haven't, like and follow the show, and do me a favor, share these. Go to your friends. Go to the TGI Sports Talk page. Up at the top, in the tabs, there's 3 dots. Click on the 3 dots, and you're going to see somewhere there, invite friends. And do me a favor, invite your friends to the show. We're doing a great job. You know, as I said, we're approaching 1,500, and I want to get to 2,000. I would like to get to 2,000 by the end of the year. That would be a tremendous accomplishment for the show, and a testament to you guys. So if we can do that, that's great. If we don't, not the end of the world. We're doing this for fun. We're not here making a bunch of money. But I have a blast doing this. That's why I'm taking, half an hour, 45 minutes out of my day today to do it with you guys. And we don't lose touch for an entire week or more. So I think we've had some fun doing the remotes live from the Carnival Magic. Guys, if you want to travel, cruising is a great way to go. It depends on who you are. It's not for everybody. I understand that. But, man, if you just want to get away from everything, I look out here and you can't see land anywhere you look. And you want to forget about your job, you want to forget about problems you got at home, come out on a cruise. You'll love it. What's Rick got to say here? Rick's glad we're not here. Not sure how your wife feels. Well, she feels pretty good today, to be quite honest with you. She didn't feel great about it Sunday because we had a long day in the sun and skipped dinner to watch dinner in the dining room anyway, because the Patriots in Dallas were on. Hooked up with some really fun Patriot fans, some really fun Dallas fans, and we had a great time in the Red Frog pub. Watched the entire game, which I was not planning on doing, but we did. We ended up eating late on a Lido deck, and Keith was overserved. So my wife might have been a little ticked that day, but she got over it. You know, I was just a little sloppy, but we had fun. We had a blast, met some new friends, and we had fun with that. So it's been great chatting with you guys. If you guys don't have anything else college football wise, I will wrap it up. And I'll give you a second because I know it takes a second for the comments to come through. I'm glad you guys joined me today for this half an hour, 35 minutes. I've really enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the remotes that we've done from the Magic. We may do one more Friday real quick and chat with you guys. I may do a live vlog and maybe take some comments on the stories of the day that you guys want to chat about. So, again, thank you to all of you that came in today. Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk, College Football Huddle, right here in Northeast Streaming Sports. We'll be back next Wednesday live at 7 p.m. Hope to talk to you soon. You know what, Rick? Actually, now that I've already signed off, I don't know that I can get my picks in. I'm going to try, but what I didn't do, like a dummy, was save the sites on my phone. So I may be short a pick on Thursday. Not sure. We'll see. So you guys may have a little head start on me for the week, but we'll see. But thanks for the reminder, Rick. And I will remember to try to get into the ESPN site from my phone. The problem is my passwords are saved on my home computer, and I don't have them on my phone. So stupid on my part. Anyway, guys, I will catch you next Wednesday night live at 7 p.m. with the College Football Huddle. And we'll be on Sunday live with our Stream of Consciousness. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon. Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk. See you later. Bye-bye.